Hello, my lovelies. This is Vulpus Tumultum, and today I just felt like digging up this game. Sumerians caught my interest a while back. I forget who it was, whether it was Nucrium or Splattercat or both, who briefly played it. It's undergone a lot of updates since then, and it's shaping up to be a very nice little ancient city builder for people who like that kind of game. And I like that kind of game. So I decided this morning I felt like doing some more chill stuff. But rather than just go back to Ostriv or something like that, I wanted to sort of showcase Sumerians because, yeah, it's a cool game, honestly. We're not gonna do the campaign stuff. I'm just gonna, we're just gonna open up a, quick little map. You can play on a very small map or a pretty big one. Some maps are a little harder than others. I kind of feel like going with this map. This map and this thing. Let's see. Science mode, scientific output. Yeah. We'll leave everything on standard. There are these sandbox options, so you can just do a completely free game if you want to. Uh, but yeah, I am keen on ancient city builders. I like modern city builders too, but I've always had a soft spot for the ancient ones. You know, I played Caesar and Caesar 2 back in the day. Forgetting the name of the one that was ancient China, which I loved, Emperor. And of course, I played both Pharaoh and Cleopatra, both when they first came out and then when they released on Steam a while ago. And by a while ago, I do mean years ago. Okay. So what we got here is, as a lot of games, colony management, city building games do, and I consider this one more of a city builder than colony management, but it does still have the, yes, you have to mind the food levels and all that kind of thing, which makes it a little bit of a colony or a little bit more colony management, I suppose. But you do start with a little town center that you have to drop. Which I'm just going to drop there, I guess. Here's me hoping I remember how to play this, actually, without digging up the tutorial, because it has honestly been a while. Now, this game is one of those ones where it's a good ancient city builder because it does not focus on money as your big economy. Money is cool and important and all, or there is money, but it's not the thing, basically. This is, you know, roughly mercantile, but more of a trade barter economy, and you pay people with grain. So you're gonna need to make sure you've got a good grain supply pretty early on. Buildings have a work radius that they're good for. Also not, you know, not a stunning new thing. But you have both your farms and then there's the citizen farms, which you want a few of as well. You don't want to just have your farms. You want people to be able to grow a little bit of their own thing. This is a game where you just lay out the residential and all the other zones, and people will basically people will sort things out to how they want things to be. Wow, I am just eloquent this morning. But yeah, it's a very nice little city builder, I think. I really do like it. It does have some decorative modes and things that we'll look at shortly. You want some citizens workshops as well. As homes. There are tools that make it easier to lay things out in a grid. I'm forgetting what they are right now. So houses can be placed on steep terrain, but not to the workshops. That's interesting to know. I have not actually played on a map with the raised level thing, so I'm not entirely sure how it goes. Okay, we are going to need a mud pit. I may not like this map because of the steep incline thing and what have you. There are more production than just the mere agricultural, and there is the canals. Okay, let's see here. There is a tech tree. I'm going to unlock irrigation first, and then we'll see what goes on. But yeah, this game is it is early access. It still has a ways to go before it is finished. But I do think it is a very nice little I think it's a very nice little game, honestly. It is one of those games where you do not place roads. Dynamic paths happen where people walk. Oh, hey, Beer Me, how you doing? I'm sort of torn as to whether or not I like games with the dynamic paths. I like setting up roads and stuff, but it is cool too. I hope you're doing well this morning, Beer Me. Hey, at least you get to chill a little bit. All right. I'm going to add one more farm. And I do not yet have any cattle, but I'm going to go ahead and build a couple of livestock pens, or get ready to build a couple of livestock pens. The important thing that you definitely need to worry about is barley early on. Just, oh dear, that's why. Um, Off to a great start. Yeah, you need the grain to pay your workers, or riots and horrible things happen, basically. And I overextended. I made too many buildings that have employees. And now there's been mayhem, basically. Now there's been mayhem. Can't seem to replace those. Maybe I didn't need to delete the destroyed buildings. I'm not sure. Like I said, it has been a while since I've played this game. And several updates since I last played this game too. But okay, now we are getting, oh, ouch. Part of me is like, should I just restart? Because I'm doing so badly. Let's see, how do I... Okay, the transporters, the donkey transporters are your basic transporters. I know they have since added ox carts, which I guess you need to unlock a little bit. I vaguely remember having to buy the donkeys, but I'm not really seeing how you do that now, so maybe they changed that. Uh, However you slice it. Donkeys are, you know, it's an ancient city builder. Of course there's donkeys in here. Uh, Just add a few more barley fields. Because, yeah, we need that barley very badly. But yeah, you pay in this game, you pay people first with barley, and then you could upgrade it. So you do upgrade it, and some other like upper class, like more important types of employees, you may pay in beer and clothing and stuff like that instead. But you're not actually paying money for the work because it's ancient. Okay, so you can raise your own oxen and your own donkeys. Do I have to raise my own donkeys now? Is that how this is now working? Interesting. Yes, beer. That was a very popular way of paying workers in Egypt and Sumeria and various other ancient places. I have not seen donkeys yet, so maybe I need to raise my own donkeys. I'm not sure. Yeah, I used to buy my donkeys, but as they're available in a livestock enclosure. Okay. So I have to raise my own donkeys for working. Interesting. Yeah, I know, right? It is kind of funny though, because as historians do research, it's like ancient builders and that in Egypt and Sumeria and all that, they actually kind of got more breaks and stuff than modern ones do in a lot of places. Particularly in the uh, but yeah, it's I mean, I don't know if we would have liked I mean, oh God, I am really doing bad here. Uh, there is the fact that their beer was very different than the beer people drink today in a lot of ways. I mean, it was a lot thicker, and ancient beer was a lot more like liquid bread, sort of, from what I understand. Um, so there's also the would we have liked the ancient beer? But I mean, if you were actually born then, it's what you would be used to, so. Okay, but I do have donkeys now, so that should help a lot. And I have a cat on my desk blocking my view of my monitor. Hi, Jester. Do you want to say hello to everybody, Jester? You want to at least hunker down so you're not blocking my monitor so much? Oh, my dear. It's just keeping your community alive. It is just the ancient era, but it has the look that it's going to be a pretty solid city builder with a lot of detail for it. There is a tech tree, so you do have to you do have to sort of like right now I'm actually not earning any science points. I need to find the buildings for that. But yeah, it's early access. There's a lot more that's upcoming and in the roadmap and stuff, and a lot more needs to be done to fully polish it. But it's one of those games where at this point in the early access, in my opinion, it's worth supporting. The devs have at this point put in a history of updates and keeping things going. Sorry, I'm a little distracted as I try to remind myself where the heck we need to, where the science points are generated. But anyway, yeah, I think it's a pretty solid foundation for a game at this point. And there's enough in it that you can have fun for several hours, setting up your city and exploring how the game works. So far, I am doing very bad at keeping my community alive. I'm kind of sort of not successfully keeping myself in barley to pay everybody. Are you playful, Jester? Oh my goodness, Jester. What you doing, girl? My cat has the zoomies. She's like running all over my room and jumping on my desk and then off my desk and then on my desk again. Have you got the zoomies? Shall we adjust the cat cam to catch the zoomies? Okay, now you're no longer zooming. Figures. Yeah, figures I would adjust the cat cam and then all of a sudden there would be no longer zooming. Okay. I'm going to up how many farmers I have just by a bit. Oh my goodness. Apparently not. My cats are a little upset with me this morning because they did not get any canned food. They're having to get used to not getting canned food every day, but only getting it on weekends or every other day or something like that. I haven't quite decided what the schedule's going to be, but they're not pleased that it's changed. So some of that performance may have been to remind me that, they didn't get any this morning. All right. I'm going to have to let my grain stores build up before I buy any more oxen. That's for sure. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and max out our farm workers. Okay, yeah, here you've got we can lay out with building guides so that you can try and keep things a little more straight and grid-like if that is how you prefer to build. Rotate buildings a little, that sort of thing. So you can try and make this a very tidy city if you want to. I am admittedly just sort of slapping stuff in wherever I can fit it, as how my building is going today. Does the religious buildings make the science? Oh, here's the building. That's the destroy button I wanted, not the other one. Gotcha. Yeah, it has definitely been a while since I played this game. I could have sworn last time I played there was an actual building that generated science. I am just not currently seeing any such thing. Not really, actually. A lot of the earliest scientific discoveries were moved by religion. And that includes early Christianity, too. It was only during certain time periods that various religions have come down on science, and actually there are still a lot of religions that are very science friendly. It's kind of there is not a one size fits all for that sort of thing. But a lot of, like, in Europe, a lot of monks were basically scientists for a long time. Gregor Mendel, you may have heard that name. He's one of the guys that helped figure out genetics. But yeah, in the ancient days, there was definitely not a with Sumerians and Egyptians and Greeks and that, there was not a division between science and religion. A lot of the time, science was a way of better understanding your deities. It's very interesting how things changed, basically, with certain religions. Again, not all religions. Oh, that's right, I don't have a builder that is in range of that. I'm gonna have to. Yep, I built it just out of my builder's range. Actually, I built that just out of builder's range, didn't I? But oh, yeah, the builder's buildings can be built if they're out of range, but other buildings have to be in range of a builder. is one of the tricksy bits of this game that have to be learned and remembered. Yeah, I'm an armchair history nerd, so I've I've studied quite a bit about that sort of thing, and well, I wouldn't say studied so much as I picked that up along with other things I've picked up as I've read history books or watched documentaries and done various things. And taken history courses in college and stuff, because I did take some history courses just for the heck of it. Mm. Okay, nope, that is not a science building. So how the heck do I generate science, game? Please elucidate for me. Ah, it's the Council of Elders. Unlocks after 200 citizens. Okay, gotcha. All right, I think that unlock is new. I do not remember that unlock having been a thing. Okay, so I just need to keep on keeping on for a bit. We got 182 people, so we're almost at that 200 mark. I just have to make sure I don't go bankrupt again, and that we keep plenty of grain. I don't really need 5 builders in there right now, but I guess I'll leave it. I can afford it, I think. I think I can afford it. Here's hoping I can afford it. Okay. Here we go, Council of Elders. Gotcha. And they do not need... Oops. Nope. We want to... Didn't like that one there. Okay. I believe there is a bit of a life cycle, but I'm not entirely sure. I know babies do happen, and you do just get immigrants too. There's, at least I think that babies happen, and that there's a growth of population that way as well as by immigrants. I'm actually not entirely clear on some of that. I would have to see if there's any documentation, because while I believe there is that stuff, it's not like overly advertised in the game, you know, if you know what I mean. You don't see little pop-ups saying 20 people have joined or anything like that. It just sort of, you just sort of see your population number go up. Oh, Frumpkin, it's okay, buddy. It's okay, buddy. What's up? I have a cat talking to me. I don't know if it's picked up on the mic. This game, for all of it, I mean, I tend to think of mostly colony management games as being ones where you're really doing resource management, and city builders are more just the sprawling place zones and try to balance that way. This game is a pretty even mix of both. I believe you can wind up making some pretty sprawling cities if you know what you're doing. I have not ever played to the point where I get extremely huge and take over the entire map, you know, but I think it can be done. I need to run real quick and grab something. I forgot my my glass of water. I need to hydrate. There we go. Uh, um, let's see. Okay, yeah, I think now we are earning science points slowly, it looks like. Oh, it looks like there's a little bit you can do to change the look of the building. That's actually pretty cool. Okay, so we have unlocked irrigation. I think the next thing we want to unlock is brick building. Lots of cats having the zoomies now. I don't think my mic's picking up all the crashing, but there's a lot of mayhem happening throughout my house right now. Cats running into things or knocking things over. Uh, okay, we're doing pretty good. We're building up our food reserves. I did unlock irrigation, which means now we can make canals. Clearly can't make them all the way to a little bit of the canal is out of building range, which is a bit of a problem there, but okay, we do have wells now. But we need a brick pit. I think I can afford 4 workers in the brick pit. I guess let me go ahead and build another builder's building out there. Ugh. I definitely have been building things, so there's going to be a lot of awkward angles here, but that's probably all right. Okay. Here's walls. Oh, that's government. Here we go. That's security. Here's walls. But there, the canal has been built. So now I have a lot more irrigated land that I can farm on and stuff. What's the command for rotating these things? I'm gonna have to look that up actually. Hang on one moment. Settings, controls. Okay, X, Z, and B. Keys that no other game I know of uses for rotating buildings, but you know. Your city, your people in your city are very big on having walls. Like very big on having walls. Okay, gonna go ahead and we're gonna work our way towards buttresses, I think. And all the way up to granary. Okay, now that we have bricks, we can build things like gardens and stuff. Which do make people, you know, happy to have pretty things near them. I am being very slapdash about placement, admittedly. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, I think we're flourishing pretty well now. We'll hire a few more people. I think I'm staying pretty ahead of the curve in terms of gonna be a bit before I need to worry about making flax or anything like that, or making fabric. Yeah, that takes brick. The houses do upgrade. They like to be near, they like to be near walls. They like to be near wells. All of that kind of thing does affect how they upgrade. Okay, I made these livestock pens a little small. I was not fully in part because I wasn't fully aware of how they worked. But one can make a much bigger pen for I don't actually know that I need that yet, so I'm going to put it on pause. But at least that way I know it's an option. Okay. So because everyone likes to live pretty close to mud walls, you do wind up wanting to build, like, even if I want to spread throughout this whole region, you know, it's build little quarters with walls around them instead of just trying to do one giant city with one giant set of walls. Because that way you can make sure you've got walls close enough to everything to upgrade them. Okay, we're slowly working our way. Let's see, what do I not, is there anything I don't have still? Okay. Part of me is getting so mad at how unaligned I have the city and unaesthetically pleasing it is so far that I'm like, I want to start over. But we will keep going. I gotta unlock the bigger granaries. Let's see. Okay, I think I've got everything covered with my builders, so we should be able to build all these walls. You can also shrink radiuses of things so that you know, your donkeys in the net aren't trying to cover everything. Um, it's it's honestly pretty cool, I think. What are we working on right now? Geometry. And then I guess we'll work on buttress. Yeah, okay. They're going to do geometry and then mosaics, buttresses, vaults. Hey Sam, how you doing? Oh, well, I'm glad you're hanging in there. I wish it was more than vaguely. Yeah. Sorry to hear that. There we go. I don't know if I should build another mud pit. I kind of think I got enough mud being made, but things are going very slow for the construction process, so I don't know. Do I need more mud? I guess let's do a small one and see if that speeds up the construction of the walls any. Okay, that probably will speed things up a little bit. Yep, that sped things up. Needed donkeys carting stuff around. That's new since I last played too, that the donkeys need to be used to move mud around and stuff. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna have to reduce you guys because it looks like what I have to do is have a mud pit for everywhere. So instead of one 10-person mud pit, we're going to have 3 5-person mud pits, I guess. I guess that's how it's going to work. Which may also then need brickyards for all of them. I could possibly get rid of these central ones. Now that we got these ones branching more to the sides, but I'm not sure. Just out of curiosity, let's see if upgrading to brick does anything right up here. He's soulless. Need to get these walls all fully built. Let's see. You guys gonna settle down and nap for a bit? Okay, I have 20 workers working on the science stuff. The brick walls are rather pretty. Oh, I need to add. I guess actually we can go ahead and see if we can't increase our science and get us researching a little faster. I'm not running short of grain right now, so I think I can afford 20 more. Let's see. Okay, we got 40 elders working on science now. That hopefully will speed things up a little bit. Let's see here. Okay, we're on the second row of things to upgrade or research. You can build these brick plazas that are sort of like roads, but they're not quite like roads. At the moment, I don't think there's like actual mines that you can build. And you need to basically trade for raw metals and stuff for your industries. I don't know if they're ever going to make it so there's mines or that, or if they're going to keep it trade based. The trade based is pretty cool though. Okay, we've almost got our walls finished finally. I hope I don't need to move these guys a little bit to get them to where they can finish building. No, it looks like all the walls will be finished. I'm hoping. Since it looks like there's materials by all of them. It may be now that the game recognizes when you have an enclosed area and you don't actually have to build really close to the walls anymore. Um, which will be neat if it has changed to that. Yep, there we go. Walls are finished, and so we got houses upgrading. Well, maybe this one wall isn't going to get built. Bugger. Builders. Let's scoot you over so that you include that bit of wall. I wonder if the problem with this fish market is it's too far away. Um, okay. Okay, now the fish market is absolutely in range of some donkeys. So let's see if that encourages things a bit more. I mean, I think it was in range of donkeys where it was too, but okay, finally we've got storage for grain. Okay. Oh wow, yeah, you've got a nice range. Um, transport. That didn't work out the way I wanted it to. Going to need to arrange things differently. There we go. Ox cart. Okay. Okay, let's see. Actually, let's do that. Salt pond and tannery and meat curing. We have a lot of food spoilage because it's not being picked up and taken places. Hey Ricky, how you doing? Let's see. I may have to turn this into a two-parter because I don't think I'm going to actually get too far into showcasing it before I'm going to need to break for lunch. Oh, well, it's only 8, so I mean, not that I'm timing it to time on the clock, just once I get hungry enough that I need to break for, I guess it would actually be brunch. Because I did not eat yet, or have not eaten yet. But yeah, as like I said, you start out paying everyone with grain, but you can give raises to make your workers more efficient in that of beer, textiles, and it looks like cured meat are all things that people will take for salary increases. Okay. Well, do we want to go to Fabrics Workshop first, or let's go to Sumerian cities first? Why not? Let's get our trade up and running. They're being very slow to build this ox carts area. I don't know if it's just because there's a lot of draw on the mud here or what. Production. Okay, we're starting to get some grain into our actual granary now. Yeah. Zoom in and slow down a little bit. This is as close as you can zoom, so it's not as, I mean, it doesn't go super uber close, but yeah, it's a pretty nice game all around for an inexpensive little indie. I think they've paid quite a bit of detail, not just to the graphics to that degree, but as they're plotting out how the salaries and payments and trade and everything works, I think they're doing a pretty bang up good job on this. You can build canals to extend the fertile land. You can't build them up hills or anything like that. They don't have like water screws and stuff in the game for that kind of extra detail. But and there's no real terraforming, but the canals do at least add a little bit of that. There are guides to make it easier to actually make things straight and try and make it more of a grid if you want. I just haven't been bothering because I'm a messy builder. We got... Yeah, I admittedly have played it briefly before, but that was many, many, many updates ago. So there has been a lot that has been very new to me. I bought this game very shortly after it first hit early access because I saw some streamers playing it. And okay, Salt Pond. Uh, so it's kind of a second look for me, but I figured it was a first look for the channel. And since I am having to check out the new mechanics for this and that and the other thing. Like the first time when I last played this, when you built like a donkey transport, you bought the donkeys right there. But now you actually need to build a livestock pen and sort of raise some of the donkeys yourself. I'm not sure why I'm not seeing donkeys in the pen. I don't need to buy any more. We've got, it says there's the max, so. It could be. I thought I had seen donkeys just hanging out in there before, but I don't know. Are we actually doing anything with fish yet? No, we're not actually doing anything with fish yet. Okay. I may have to build a bigger, I might build a larger donkey pen, honestly. I wasn't overly familiar with how big things could be or needed to be when I first threw that one down. Same with the oxen pen. It's a very small pen. Let's go ahead, and since we have that new donkey pen, I'm going to just go ahead and delete that one. I don't know if eventually those donkeys will be moved into this pen or not, but oh wow, I am very short on grain. Whoops. Whoops. Lots of whoopsing. That was kind of close. That was admittedly kind of close there. Um, yeah, it is within a builder's radius, so that should work okay. Hey, it's within the oxen radius too. Good. Whew. Okay, well now we have a huge pen of donkeys. Probably bigger than we need. I'm gonna go ahead and turn these into the oxen pen and get rid of that. Yeah, my inventory here of grain is pretty much my budget in this game, since that's what you pay people with, and I got very close to famine a moment ago, so bit of an oopsie. Wish there was a way to prioritize a building for construction. I'm not sure why this is not being worked on. Oh, because it's not within a builder's range. That would be that would very much be why. That explains a lot. Okay. Okay, are you guys hauling it then to the granary? I guess you are. Yeah, okay. I would like you guys to concentrate on building this farm instead of the canals, please. They're like, no, we're going to concentrate on the canals. No, unfortunately. That might be something I will, if the devs have a suggestion thing, I may check to see if that has been suggested and throw my vote behind that as well. Though it does look like they did send someone to work on the farm at least, so that's good. Right. Same in a few other games. Clanfolk lets you do, or no, not Clanfolk. Timberborn lets you do that, and it is extremely useful. Oh yeah. The mud is, I mean, mud or cob or adobe, whatever you want to call it, is a very good building material. It's actually kind of a shame that in some places they went away from it. I mean, it still is huge. It still is hugely used in like Africa and other places, and it's smart to use it in those places. Where I live, a lot of people would be living a lot more comfortable with lower electricity bills if people had continued to build with Adobe instead of switched to just, you know, the stud and board, quote unquote, modern building techniques. There's a lot of there's a lot of ancient ingenuity that just kind of got thrown out the window in the interest of modernizing that really should be brought back. Yeah, and I mean, an Adobe building might use some timber for helping for a little more structural support, but like, sure, very modern insulation might give better insulation than Adobe, but then you've got to waste all the energy and resources producing the insulation. Whereas Adobe, it's, you know, mud and straw. Why do you not have workers? I'm not maxed out in how many workers I can have. A little unsure why this farm isn't getting anyone to work for it. Yeah, I am extremely happy that at least part of my house is built out of adobe. There's one room that is just stud and board construction, and then one room I think is cinder block construction, which isn't that great either, but the adobe bits really help. My mom and I used to like check out of the library or get books on green building and stuff, and we were always wanting to experiment with doing some adobe or cob building of our own or papercrete or something like that, but we never got a chance to do that sort of thing. Other than my mom went to a papercrete workshop or so where a guy was working on his own house, and you know, you could help him build his basically you helped him build his house to learn how to do it, you know, kind of deal. And she had a lot of fun with that. I don't think I still have our green building book. I think that got lost in the move, unfortunately. Because now I'm jonesing to read it again because it was always so much fun. Read it and dream. I'm not sure what you have to do to encourage people to buy and sell the fish at the fish market. I don't know why nothing seems to happen in that building. And we don't have a lot of people taking advantage of the fishing zones I made. Oh, we finished our research. Kind of wonder if I should build another donkey. Let's just see how it goes if I build a little more donkey stuff. Goodness knows we now have plenty of donkeys. Not another pen, but another actual transport building that will use donkeys from the pen. With this size of pen, I don't think we need to build more pens. I think we're pretty set on donkeys. I might build another cattle pen though. Which takes a big bite out of our budget. Why is nobody working here? Very confused. I don't know if I've just done something wrong or if I'm suffering from some sort of a bug that there's nobody working there. Okay, now we're getting workers. I guess it was cut off somehow because I didn't have enough space for roads. Maybe. Or maybe I just don't have a big enough city population. I don't know. I must just not have enough of a population because everything is very, very low on employees right now. Yeah. I was telling Beer Me earlier, one of the reasons is that I wanted to sort of do a video on this game is because I think at this point in particular, for people who are okay with buying early access games and who like ancient city builders, I think at this point it's a solid enough game to be worth buying. When I first bought it, admittedly, it was maybe a little more shy of stuff. But I very much think it has improved itself to the point where now it's kind of more worthwhile. I wish I didn't have to buy more cattle. Why can't I just tell cattle to go from this pen to that pen? Like in Settlement Survival and Banished, that would be very, very useful. I do not have the grain right now to buy any more cattle. I'm going to have to just wait on that. We are cutting it very close with our grain budget. Yeah, I just don't have enough employees. Do not have enough people to work as employees. I do too, and a lot, there's a lot of complaints about how so many games are early access these days. But I mean, for small indie developer groups, especially when you have just a one-man show, they really need, they're not going to get the investment from businessmen. They need the investment from players. Right. And I gotta say, I have bought a lot of early access games and backed a few on Kickstarter. And there's only really a few. I mean, like, out of maybe a dozen games that I've bought early access or Kickstarter, or even more than a dozen games, there's only really two that I ever really felt kind of burned by. And one of those, it wasn't the game developer's fault. It was the publishing company. The publisher they went with basically crapped out on them. And then the devs just couldn't do anything. Other than the devs did release the code for the game, and the modding community has made the game, basically expanded the game to be more like it was meant to be when it was fully released. Or when, the roadmap for it, and that's Stonehearth. And then the only other game I can remember really feeling burned on was Towns, which is one of the earliest games that sort of drama, I think, even happened around when early access became a thing on Steam. But otherwise, pretty much every other game, I mean, and even Stonehearth, for the amount of time that the publisher was still working with it and didn't crap out on them, they were updating regularly and frequently. Towns updated pretty regularly and frequently at first until the dev just kind of got bored with it and decided to move on to working on different things, which I'm still kind of bitter about Towns, honestly. It had a lot of problems. I think it's another one where the modding community took over, and if you do the modding and stuff, there's a much more advanced version of the game you can play, but it is also a game that doesn't have the easy Steam Workshop compatibility for the mods, so I haven't messed with it because I don't like having to mess with INI files and mod folders and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, otherwise, for me, the games I have invested in have pretty much always panned out. Nemoria also stopped before I think it really was fully finished, but I mean, there was enough Nemoria that I played, 1,000 hours of it, which, okay, that's worth the $7 I spent on it on sale on Steam. And now there's a free open source version of it called, or successor to it called Ignomia, that is free and open source and is building on it with Nemoria's dev's blessings. So, it's pretty cool, I think. And you have Clan Folk, which I think is like a 2 or 3 person team, and then Ostriv, which is a 1 person team. Banished was a 1 person team, I think. If you can call it a team when it's 1 person, but I mean, just basically not a lot of devs working on these games. And they've all, a lot of them have been very good. There's another game that I think I'm going to wait for them to do another update before I do a channel look at it, called Buoyancy, which I've, played enough hours in that I feel like I got my money's worth. Because that's the other thing, is it's like, if you spend, $15, $10 on a game, how many hours worth of playing do you have to be before you really got your money worth, even if it never finishes or polishes? Oh, hey, I didn't have to buy cattle. They are bringing cattle from the other pen as they're born, I guess, and overflow that one. Good. Awesome. I didn't have to spend more grain. So I guess you don't have to manually do it. It'll just automatically do it. But yeah, I am a huge fan of early access for small studios and indie teams. I am more salty about, AAA games that get released and feel like they're in alpha or early access because, from AAA studios and big studios, because they've got the investors and they've got the money, and they should be able to do a lot better. Okay, we do have this open, so there is trading. Some of these are locked. You gotta unlock other trading routes. But Sumerian cities can buy quite a bit. Can sell quite a bit. But what I need northern Mesopotamia so I can buy copper to make arms. Right. Yeah, and I mean Towns was in a good playable state. It just it had the guy had talked so big in his roadmap about everything he was going to do, and was like, and it's going to be even better than that. And then yeah, they just got bored halfway through. I'd kind of honestly like another game like Towns. I haven't found one quite like it. Um, for those unfamiliar, Towns was a dungeony game with Z levels, but what it was is you were building a town that supplied heroes who you did not control, but they would come into your town depending on what you had to attract them. And then they would go down into the levels of mine or dungeon or whatever that you opened up, and they would fight the monsters. And then they would spend what money they made in your town on gear and equipment, and you could, pick up loot yourself that they left behind or whatever and stuff like that. I liked the idea of a town management, village management, where you were just supporting heroes that came in and you didn't control. And I don't really know of any other games quite like that, which is a shame. And like I said, I'd see what the modding community has done with Towns, other than I vaguely remember it being annoying to install the mods. And since I vaguely remember it was annoying, I haven't done it. It doesn't take much for me to look at something and go, well, that's too much effort. think I'm going to rearrange a few things here. We got I'm going to just turn a few fields into flax fields. Okay. Get some more wells in and see if that increases my population a little better. Um, if you're very detail minded, you can probably make very pretty cities with lots of gardens and stuff in this game. I'm weird because it's like in some games I'm super detail minded, and then I play like this game or City Skylines, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, good enough. I'd spend 900 hours making a Sims 3 world trying to place everything perfectly, and then, you know, give me a city builder that gives me parks and plazas and stuff, and it's just kind of like, oh, I'll just sort of throw them around. Eventually, I'll put some in. Mhm. Let's see. Oh, we got. Well, let's go ahead and unlock that. Oh wow, the woo! Tech tree is bigger than I thought it was. Had to do a little scrolling. Okay, okay. Yeah, I think this is going to actually have to be like a two-parter because I'm definitely going to get hungry before we get too far into that, too much further into the tech tree. I am not familiar enough with this game that I've quite figured out. Like, I know there's the radius that a farm can get to for fields, but I'm not as clear on how many fields spaces a farm can actually really tend. Like, would I be better off building another farm? Would I be better off building, another farm building here? Even if maybe I don't max it out to try and make sure more farms are built. Because it does look like it's not getting to all of the fields. The farms aren't getting to all of the fields, so. Okay, we need better security to upgrade houses now. Which we are tanning leather, so that should give us medium security. But we need people to actually work there before it works. So I'm kind of, it doesn't seem like we're getting, I thought, I said earlier that I was pretty sure you got immigrants and stuff, but honestly, with how slow our workforce is growing, it almost seems like after your first flush of people, you're kind of just having to grow them. What's the matter, Frumpkin? What's the matter, buddy? What you saying? But again, now if I could prioritize, I guess what I can do, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Uh, Okay. Okay, got some trades going on. Got someone doing yard work in the house next door's yard, and all my cats are very suspicious. Yeah, so far at least, you have to trade for metal and copper and stuff like that. I don't know if they're ever going to change that or if that's just, how they intend to do it. It is true that the area that, geographically, the area that they've got the maps at, I don't think had a whole lot of mining. And it was mostly agricultural, but I am not an expert on ancient Sumeria, so don't necessarily 100% assume I know exactly what I'm talking about. But and so what you do is you make fishing zones, and supposedly people that move into your city do fishing and then sell you the fish for grain, and then you sell the fish on or something like that. But I don't seem to actually ever see it working. There's only the one dock, only one fishing wharf has been done, and it has no workers. So that would be why nothing's happening. So right now, yeah, we need a lot more workers than we have. Our city is like our city population has bottlenecked us. And unless it grows somehow, we're kind of see signs over migrants. So there should be people moving in. People want to live in the city. We have lots of jobs, plenty of food, plenty of places to build houses. So I'm not entirely sure what the holdup is. Do I need to, I mean, I can build a temple, but I'm not going to have, it's not going to have priests is the problem. There's 318 available jobs and nobody's showing up to fill them. I don't know if this is a bug that we're dealing with right now. Let me just test something. Okay, let's see if reloading fixes anything about not getting any population. Because there seems to be no reason why we wouldn't be getting population. Also, I would like to find someone who can read cuneiform to tell me if it actually says anything on that loading bar or if it's just random cuneiform. Okay. Put a sign over migrants' heads so I can see them if they show up. But yeah, okay, so we definitely do have children in the town, so our population does sort of breed itself up, but we should be getting migrants. And we're not getting migrants. Okay, here we go. We got some more upgrades happening finally. Is that gonna bring us people? Arriving 32. Okay, interesting. So people aren't, this is very interesting because it looks like then people don't just keep moving in just because you've got plots of land available. They really wait for houses to upgrade before moving in. Holy crap, now we finally have migrants arriving. Okay, so it wasn't a bug, it was just until you get a certain level of housing, I guess only a certain number of people are going to want to live with you. Very odd. Okay, well, that's at least a good influx of migrants. To my knowledge, not yet. No, not yet for flooding and storms. The only disaster I've ever seen in the game so far is if you run out of grain, and then you basically take a big population loss and a bunch of buildings get destroyed due to rioting. I'd have to read the roadmap. I think they're planning. It's been a while since I looked at, if they had a roadmap or that. I vaguely want to say I remember them saying that they were going to have illnesses and things in at some point, but yeah, I really don't remember. Um, let's see, what can I... I'm trying to see if they've got like a quick link to a roadmap or something. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not finding a quick link to like a roadmap of things. Here we go. Actually, I found a roadmap, and this roadmap does not have any disasters in it. Um, it's looking very basic, like it is just going to be a very peaceful city building game. Um, Based on their website, they've almost got it to what they consider finished. I don't know if they ever are going to think of changing that or if that is set in stone, but it does look like there's only a couple of production tree stuff still coming. Yeah, that would. That was very fun in SimCity. But it looks like they're not going that in depth with this game. I don't know, even if they do just stick to that roadmap, I'd say it's probably going to remain worth buying for people that just really like a chill city builder for a little while. You know, if you're satisfied with getting 40 or 50 hours of city build in and unlocking tech trees and trading and stuff, it's probably still worth it. Yeah. And I personally love games that are set more in the ancient era. There's a new Egyptian one coming out that I've got wish listed so that I can keep an eye on its development. I put ridiculous amounts of hours into like Caesar 2 and Emperor and Pharaoh and Cleopatra back in the days. So this is a much more simplistic game. It looks like it's going to stay a much more simplistic game, but still, it's pretty cute. It's pretty fun. We got a max. Let's see what we can do. Let's go ahead and work on copper metallurgy. I think I'm gonna have to go now for a bit. I just the hunger has kicked in. I need to go cook myself some brunch and take care of a few things. But thank you all for joining me. This has been the first look at Sumerians. I think it might wind up having a second episode. at some point. I'm still not doing as much streaming this week as I would like to, just due to health reasons and tired reasons. And I do definitely have some Keeper XL, or Keeper RL, excuse me. Keeper RL in the future, as well as hopefully some more Timberborn and other games that I have previously played. Thanks for joining me, Ricky, and Beer Me and anyone else, Sam, if you guys are still around. Yeah, Sumerians is a pretty solid game. It's not as in-depth as some people might like. But, you know, I'm enjoying it for a few hours today and probably a few hours tomorrow or another day. So, I'll see you all next time. Remember to be cool and be kind. And this is Vulpus Tumultum signing out for now. Bye!